Good morning, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Yes! It's another episode of the VA Home Show. You're welcome in advance. You're welcome, veterans. You're welcome, active duty military. You're welcome, spies. That's right. The VA Home Show is not just exclusive to veterans and whatnot, but also your sneaker butts that didn't serve, but also want to know how to serve your clients. We're about it. So good morning, everybody. Hello. I've got a Navy veteran and a lender to my left. You're right, Miss Tobie Love.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Tobie Love.
Happy Friday.
And to my right, my sister, Realtor, combat veteran, Air Force veteran, Amy Serpa. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, David?
I'm freaking fantastic. We're a little bit late this morning. We're about 10 minutes late, but I needed a little bit of McDonald's pick me up. I was freaking hungry this morning. So thank you again to everybody who's continuing to share this show out. We now have clients that we are working with, and not one, not two, not three, but how many states, Tobie Love? Four states. What states are those? Can you tell us?
So, California, obviously.
California.
Florida.
Virginia.
Minnesota.
Shout out VA Home Show.
Yes.
Revolutionizing the industry, shaking things up a little bit. And good morning, Carmen Marquez. Semper Fidelis to you and yours. I am David Serpa. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I am your local rapscallion. And I'm here laying down cover fire so you can move. Today we're talking about the 18 most commonly asked questions about the VA loan. And we're going to be doing this sort of round robin.
Yep.
Tobie's going to go, or Amy's going to go this time.
Yep.
And then Tobie, we're going to bounce back and forth. But of course, the most important thing that I want you to know is that you can reach out to your fellow veteran, Tobie Love. Call or text her at 951-704-7421. She's with Cross Country Mortgage, and we want to get your questions answered. This show is not just about a bunch of malarkey. It is about action. And that's what we get from our fellow veterans. All right, you guys ready to rock and roll?
Ready.
5 veterans, 4 veterans.
Yes.
We're going to get this ping pong show started. Amy Serpa, what is the number one or one of the top 18 questions? And if you have questions, feel free to add them here. And good morning to fellow veteran Zachary Bach, Air Force vet, and active, what is that? What do they call those? Reservist.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing the show out this morning, Zach. We appreciate you, and I love you, handsome. So here we go. Let's jump in. Amy Serpa, you've got the first one. You're leading off bat. VA Home Show. Top 18 questions. What's the first one?
First one I've got for you guys is, can I use my VA home loan more than once? And the answer is yes. You can use it subsequent times, endless amounts of times. Tobie Love, do you want to talk about that a bit? Yeah.
Not only did Amy not make you wait to hear what the question was, there was no pause whatsoever. She just jumped right in and gave you the answer.
It's the way I do it, quick and to the point, guys.
Okay, so the first question is, can I use my VA home loan more than once?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
There are some things that go along with that. If you're disabled, if you are using it more than once, your eligibility and all that. We're not going to funding fees. We're not going into that on today's show. We're just not going to go into it. We've talked about that on past shows. Tobie Love, the number 2 question.
What are the waiting periods if you've had a foreclosure, a short sale, or a bankruptcy?
What are the waiting periods if you have a short sale on your record? There's a lot of you out there that have that. I meet with most clients, and they've told me, hey, between 2008 2009, good people lost their homes. If you're an active duty, that hurt because you probably lost your clearance. So are you going to be punished? How long do you have to wait?
2 years.
2 years. So that is the on the record formal answer, is that you have to wait 2 years after a short seller or a foreclosure to use your VA loan again. I will tell you that I have done it in 18 months.
Absolutely.
There are exceptions, and a lot of times that you just have to prove that extenuating circumstance.
Exactly.
Okay. Amy, we're on number 3. What's it going to be?
Okay. Where do I get my certificate of eligibility?
Where do I get my certificate of eligibility? Of course, we've already helped people out on that with this show.
Yes. That's
so
correct.
We're not going to send you anywhere. Where can somebody go to get their certificate of eligibility, Amy?
Miss Tobie Love.
Miss Tobie Love.
Yes, absolutely. All you have to do is call us.
Just call us. And of course, we have that number. We flashed it up earlier. It's easy for you guys to do. Jeff Hansen is a fellow Marine Corps veteran. Semper Fidelis to you. He's working right over there in that office right there. He's on Tobie's team. That's what we love about this. So if you need your certificate of eligibility, holler at your boy or holler at your girl. We'll go ahead and we'll get that tracked down for you so that you don't have to do it. Tobie Love, the number 4 of the 18 top common questions about the VA loan.
How do I get my VA certificate of eligibility if I lost my DD-214?
How do you get your COE if you've lost your DD-214? Okay.
So a couple things here. Sometimes you don't need your DD-214. Sometimes we can send it in to the VA portal electronically and get your certificate of eligibility. Now, there are some cases where that does not work. And if that's the case, I have the contact information right in my little book. So just make a comment or reach out to us on exactly where you can get a copy of your DD-214.
If you served in the Marine Corps, you might just look angry enough to where they won't need a DD-214 from you. They could just look at your eyebrows and be like, yep, that's that sloping forehead that comes along with having served in the Marine Corps. I think this guy's legit. I'm kidding, of course. That is not the truth. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, Washington. Good morning, Deanna. Okay, Amy, what question is this? Was this number 5 already?
All right. What's the minimum VA FICO score needed for your VA home loan?
Your minimum VA FICO score.
That is a trick
Lots of
question.
myths about that. What do you think it
Trick
is?
question.
What is it, Em?
There is no minimum credit score needed to qualify for your VA home loan.
But
It's
my
all lender
credit
by
score
lender.
is 620. But my credit score is 580. So a lot of that is going to be dependent on the lender,
Yep.
the programs that they have, what their SOPs are going to be.
Mhm.
So reach out to Cross Country Mortgage, reach out to Tobie Love,
Yep.
find out where you're at, and don't count yourself out.
Yep.
That's right.
You might be surprised. You might be ready to rock and roll. Okay, Amy, thank you for question number 5.
Mhm.
Minimum FICO. No, there is not one.
There is not one.
Question number 6, Tobie Love.
Question number 6. How much time do I have to have served to be eligible for a VA loan?
How long do you have to have served in order to be eligible for a VA loan?
So that is a loaded question. There's a lot of different things that go with it, but let's talk about just present day, where if you're a veteran, we're considered to still be in the Gulf War.
Yeah.
It started in 8/2 of 1990,
Mhm.
and you just need to have served 24 continuous months or the full period, at least 90 days, for which you were called or ordered to active duty.
So in English, what that means is 2 years on active duty,
Mhm.
or you need to have spent 90 days activated in some sort of reserve duty.
Exactly.
Okay, very interesting. I learn new things constantly. I bought my first house as a Lance Cooley in the Marine Corps. That's an E3 for those of you that don't know or don't speak devil dog. Amy Serpa, we are already on question 7. What's up next?
Can I have multiple VA loans at one time?
Can I have multiple VA home loans at one time? And the answer is,
Yes, you can.
Yes,
Amy, you
yes,
are doing
yes,
much
yes.
better with that pause. I'm proud of you.
You know,
So-
I'm trying to leave a little dramatic pause now that it's been mentioned.
Yeah.
What that does is that means that you have a certain amount of entitlement, and you can use your entitlement in multiple states. Your entitlement comes down on how much you use it and whatnot.
Mhm.
Your entitlement can be reinstated, but we're not going to go into all of that. The short answer to that question is yes, you can use your VA home loan in whatever the heck the question was.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. Thank you, Amy Serpa.
You got it.
Question 8.
All right.
Question
Question number 8. What is the debt to income requirement? Debt to income ratio requirement.
Debt to income ratio is probably the most important thing when it comes to home buying.
Yep.
For you active duty, for you veterans. A lot of us are cash poor. That doesn't necessarily matter like you might think it is.
Yep.
They're going to look at that debt to income ratio and they're going to be like, did this dude buy a private first class when in his second week in the fleet? They're going to look at it and be like, okay, how many ex-wives does this private first class have? And they're going to look at it and they're going to look at your debt to income, which means how much money is coming in versus how much money is going out. And what is the answer, Tobie Love?
So there's not a true answer. There's not like a bona fide cutoff.
Yep.
And the reason for that is VA loans look more at residual income
Mhm.
than they do debt to income ratio.
Yeah.
So the best answer to this question is come see me on this, because it's going to be different for every single person. Now, again, just like with the FICO scores, it's going to depend on lender. Some lenders are going to say can't be over 50%, can't be over 45%. But the true answer is There's not a set in stone amount. It depends on residual income.
And I'll tell you what, I'm a pretty smart guy, but calculating things like debt to income ratio are pretty difficult. And that's not just for the crayon eaters. There are a bunch of people that have difficulty with that in every branch of the service. Don't be ashamed if you're one of them. Let us help you out. That's what the show's for. Question number 9, Miss Amy Serpa, what's up?
How much does it cost to use your VA home loan?
How much does it cost to use your VA home loan?
Well, if you're working with the right ones, that's nothing.
Nothing will cost you more than being poorly represented in your deal. There are closing costs associated. There are funding fees. There are all these different things that cash flow people are a little bit worried about that you may or may not actually have to come up with out of pocket. There are ways to write the offer. There are things that will do to help you out. But if you're working with a discount agent who you were just sort of thrust off on by some lender who doesn't know what they're doing, never served, has been a lender at their table for 6 months, they're looking to get the deal done. They're passing you off to a discount agent. And here is the bottom line. What does it cost you to work with the realtor? And the truth is, nothing. The seller pays that.
No money down program.
That's a little bonus question for you.
Yep.
Okay, question number 10, Tobie Love.
Is there a time limit to use my VA loan?
Is there a time limit? So if you served and then you got out and you waited 30 years, did your VA loan expire? What's the answer, Tobie Love?
No.
There is
No time limit.
There is no time limit. I've heard a lot of people that maybe they served in Desert Storm. I've heard some even Vietnam veterans. They're like, I've never used my VA loan, and it's like,
Really?
okay, good.
Let's use
Then
it.
let's use it. Okay, so Amy Serpa, question number 11.
Can I use my VA home loan for an income producing property?
Okay, I don't want to buy a house and be in a situation where I'm immediately cash poor. Can I be in a situation where I am immediately moving into a income producing property?
You can, and here's how. You can get a multi-unit property where you as the veteran or your spouse must occupy one of those units for 60 days.
60 days.
That is all.
That's 2 months. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, you're going to have to live in it for a year. You're going to have to do 2 years. I have a veteran that is a good friend of mine, Navy, actually active duty Navy. Stephen Sherrill, 2 thumbs up. Steve is a big brain. Feel free to reach out to Steve. But Steve bought property in Vegas while he was active duty in California. There's ways to make it happen. It is so interesting what Zach is bringing up here, watching at home. He said fourplex.
Yes.
So that fourplex, you can buy a fourplex, live in one of the units for 2 months, and then turn that into also an income producing opportunity.
Or your spouse. It doesn't even have to be you. If you're on duty.
And then
your
Zach's
spouse
brain,
can
you can
go
tell it's working at home. He says, or rent out a couple of bedrooms, or put on tiny houses. There's a lot of different
There's so
opportunities,
many ways.
but the thing is, don't get too far ahead of yourself. Think about it. And of course, don't shut yourself out to entrepreneurship and opportunities. Amy, you were question number 11?
Correct.
Question number 12.
Question number 12. Can I pass my benefit on to my children?
That's a common one.
That is a very
Can
common one.
you pass your benefit if you have not used it onto your children? And the answer is
You cannot.
correct. So there is no passing that on. It's just like that GI Bill in many ways, where it's like, oh, well, I served for 4 years. I don't want to go to college. I want to pass it on to my kids. I'm sorry. It's one of those things where you don't use it, you lose it. It's just like what your dad told you about it when you were growing up. If you don't use it, you lose it. It falls off. No, I'm just kidding. You can use your VA home loan as late into life as you want to use your VA home loan. It doesn't fall off. I don't even realize what the analogy was now. Okay. All right. What was that? Was that 12?
Yes.
And what was that question? Actually,
Can I pass my benefit?
can I pass my
If
benefit
I
on to your
don't
children?
use it, do I lose
If
it?
I don't use it, do I lose it? And the answer is no. So can you pass on your VA home loan to your children? The answer is also no. All right, Amy Serpa, question number flipping 13.
Yep, correct.
13, what's it going to be?
Can I refinance my existing loan into another VA loan?
Can I refinance my current VA home loan into another VA home loan?
Correct.
What is that?
And the answer is yes. There's a couple ways to do that.
Okay.
You can use what is called the EARL,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just use your standard VA home loan.
There's a lot of interesting opportunities when it comes to refinancing.
There are.
And are you talking about any of those in yours? I want to make sure that you're not talking about it.
No.
Okay, refinancing. I bought with the VA home loan. I refinanced conventional 15-year, freed up my VA home loan and bought another house. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, especially if you're in a situation where maybe you're looking at a house you bought a couple of years ago. There's a good chance that you have some equity. Call up Tobie Love. Talk about a refinance.
Yep.
Cool. What's that next question? Number 14. Tobie Love, what's it going to be?
Can I buy with a non-spouse co-borrower?
Can I buy with a non-spouse, meaning like a girlfriend or a boyfriend? And that is a frequent question that comes up, especially with a lot of devil dogs, because they're like, hey, listen, I got married once. It didn't work out. I tried it a second time. That didn't work out either. You can't make a hoe a housewife. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm sorry. No, not the show. That's Wednesday Wake Up Live. No, but they're saying, hey, listen, I don't want to try to do this again. I have a girlfriend. I'm not going to try it. Me and my girlfriend want to buy a house together. What's the answer, Tobie Love?
The answer is yes. However, it's not 100% financing. You'd have to have you'd have to have 12.5%.
I love the spin on that. Yes, but you can't. It's no longer a zero down program.
Yep.
So what's so interesting about that is it puts you young fellows or maybe young gals that don't want to get married in an interesting situation, because you
Or
can
you
either
just be independent,
buy with
self-sufficient.
them, right, and combine, and then which means that you're going to be putting down some money.
Yep.
Or you get married, risk that fifth divorce.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times.
Zero down. There's no penalty for getting
Plus
married
child
8, 9, 10, 11,
support,
12.
plus alimony.
Child support. Okay, so the question is yes, you can combine your VA loan, active duty, or once you're a veteran, with a girlfriend, a boyfriend, etc. But it is now no longer a zero down program.
Correct.
Okay, and we've gotten way off task. What was the number to that
We're having
question?
fun today. That's
Yes,
okay.
yes,
14.
yes.
14. Amy, you are number 15.
Okay. If my VA loan was assumed and then defaulted, can my eligibility be restored?
So if my VA loan was assumed by another person, which means that you sold your house, somebody assumed your VA loan, and then they defaulted on your VA loan, does that now ruin your ability to get a VA loan? And does it?
So this is a 2-part answer, guys. And the first part is after that loss is repaid, then your eligibility is restored. However, if you cannot pay that portion off, the remaining eligibility left over, that would be available for the loan.
Good night.
So it's a little bit complex there, but if the veteran has used that portion of their eligibility and they cannot pay it back,
Yep.
the remaining eligibility is an option.
That's one of those things where, and there's been a couple of times on this show where I've had to check my ear for brain matter coming out because my eyes just about glossed over on that one. So that was number 15.
Yep.
Number 16, hopefully a little bit less complicated. Tobie Love.
Lot less. Can 2 or more veterans purchase together?
Can 2 or more veterans purchase together
Or active duty?
or active duty? Can they purchase together if they're not married? Is that the answer?
That's the question.
Okay. And can they?
Yes, they absolutely can.
Is it still zero down?
It is zero down.
Do you qualify for a little more?
Depends on what they make, but yes, possibly.
You can combine eligibility benefits.
So what's kind of cool is, and I used to joke around about this when I was in the Marine Corps, I'd say, hey, marry your buddy and let's move out of the barracks. You know what I mean? Let's combine our VA loans. Now, you don't have to marry your best friend. You can just combine your VA loan eligibility and buy a little bit, little something out there with all you Lance Corporals and up in the hills somewhere.
Will you combine your eligibility benefits?
Oh my God.
Will you combine your VA eligibility with me? That's such a beautiful question.
I know,
I've never
right?
had anyone ask such a beautiful question of me. Thank you, Amy.
Yeah,
I
you got
would
it.
be honored to combine my VA eligibility with you.
Oh, boy.
All right, next question.
All right.
Wait, that's you.
No, I think it's her.
50, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question
My
number
Last
15?
question.
17.
17.
17, and then I got one.
17.
I am a disabled veteran
Okay.
and need to renovate my house.
Mhm.
What are my options?
That is a really good question. So there are people out there that are watching that are 100% disabled, 60% disabled, 70% disabled. What are your options if you need to renovate your house and you've already got your VA loan going? What are your options?
Couple of options. There are lots of grants available with the new 2020 VA home loan. So these grants, look into this, specially adapted housing grants for disabled veterans. You guys, you can get up to $90,364 to renovate and remodel your home however you need to. And then the other option is the VA rehab loan.
The VA rehab loan is a great program. There's a lot of people that have no idea that this program exists. It really gives you an opportunity to buy that fixer-upper that previously would not have gone VA. And then be able to move in with a little bit of that cash to it's handled a lot of escrow. Yeah. It's a great program. I strongly encourage somebody having enough courage to use it. So Zach Bach said, I feel like I'm watching a trivia show. We're having a lot of fun. This is great. So if you're just now tuning in, what today's format has been for today's show has been the top 18 most commonly asked questions. We've had a little bit of a wild time so far on this show.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. It's the end of the work week. But so we've had 17 of our top 18 questions answered so far. If you have a question, this is now your time to ask it because the time is going to expire in a moment, then it's going to be answered later. Call or text Tobie Love at 951-704-7421. She's a Navy veteran. She is a lender with Cross Country Mortgage. We have clients in 4 different states right now because of the VA Home Show that are actively working with us. So, Tobie Love, let's get to that last question here. The VA Home Show frequently asked questions. What is question number 18?
What is the reason I shouldn't use my VA loan?
That's a great question. So first, I want to preface this by saying I've learned some alarming stats by licensed realtors and lenders talking active duty military and veterans out of using their VA loan. So maybe there's a couple of situations, and we're going to talk about them right now. When should you not use your VA loan?
So I'm going to tell you that 95% of the time you should use your VA loan. The only situation that I've come across and seen that it was a better situation to use a conventional loan versus a VA loan is in a situation where the client was a veteran, but they had 20+% to put down.
Sure.
So they weren't going to have mortgage insurance, and they were not exempt from the funding fee.
Yeah.
So the VA loan would have at that point cost them a little bit more money.
Let me break it down for you people, Barney style.
Do it.
Okay, so this is that situation. This is what she's breaking down to you. With the VA loan being what it is, with it being a zero down program, with the VA jumbo loan now being a thing of the past, you now have zero down for as high up as you can qualify. So when would it behoove you not to use that? And the answer is when you have a significant amount of money that you're putting down, so you're already wanting to keep that payment down.
Yep.
So maybe you've cashed out on another house. You've got 100,000, 120,000, and you want to make sure that you're keeping your payment down on your next house. One of the biggest mistakes that we make as human beings here in America is we remain poor while we upgrade in our real estate. When we cash out on those opportunities, in order to keep your payment down, it's not a bad thing to put down a significant amount of money down, avoid that principal mortgage insurance, not use your VA loan, and go conventional. But the people that can qualify for that have the opportunity for that have that amount of cash on hand are few and far between. Yep. I would say I take that from 95 to 99%, because unless you're not 1%, you're probably not using that conventional loan when you have the VA loan available to you. One of the most interesting things that I've learned about this year is somebody using a $1.8 million VA loan, zero down.
No money down.
Crazy.
So cool.
Yep.
All right. So that is it. That's the show for us today. Amy Serpa up there in Washington, our sister up there, saying thank you for your service to Tobie Love.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. And a very good morning to you all out there on Facebook. This is going to be that moment of the show where I'm going to encourage you to, first off, call or text Tobie Love. She is a veteran. I understand that a lot of vets have phone anxiety. I don't want to put you through it.
Okay.
So just text Tobie. She'll get those questions answered for you. Today we talked about the top 18 commonly asked questions. We had a lot of fun doing it,
We
actually.
did have a lot of
Probably had to
fun.
throw up a couple of red flags there at a couple of moments. On me. It's my bad. Blame it on the Marine. Call or text Tobie Love at 951-704-7421. She's reinstated certificates of eligibility, or she's given people their certificate of eligibility. We have 4 different clients all over the country already because of the VA Home Show.
Mhm.
We had 4,000 views on our video a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
This show is picking up. It's a
Yes.
lot of fun. We're having a good time. So I'm going to encourage you right now, if you are watching this on YouTube, to please hit that subscribe button to Real Estate Network Television, where we are releasing the VA Home Show, the Wednesday Wake Up Live, and the Open House Show weekly, along with lots of other great content. And if you're watching this on Facebook, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that like button so that you're staying up to date every week with all of the stuff that we've got going on. This is the most comprehensive and educational program out there that is up to date on this information. I put my name on it. There's nothing out there like this across the country. So I want to encourage you to hit like and stay up to date with the VA Home Show. Thank you so much for watching. You all have a fantastic week. All you patriots, all you veterans, all you active duty military, and even you nasty spies. Everybody have a great weekend.
Share it out.